Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of Hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
This is Julianne Condia, host of Rewritten here on Public House Media. Thank you so much for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you are done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Rewritten, where we will talk about you having limitless potential and can rewrite your story at any time. No matter your background, your past, or current situation, you can have the type of life you crave. A new show comes out every single Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Rewritten. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Have you ever heard that? If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Welcome to Choose to Rise, where today we're going to be talking about meal prepping and planning out your food, because this is March, while the time that I'm recording this, and March is National, oh goodness gracious, let's start over. March is National Nutrition Month in the United States, and it is a time to really be thinking about spring and the time that new things are growing and eating good, healthy foods for yourself. And so today we're going to be talking about some ways that you can do some meal planning and some meal prepping that is going to save you some time, it's going to save you energy, it's going to save you calories, and it's just going to help you feel in control and help you feel your absolute best in your energy and everything that you do. So today we're going to be talking about 5 little tips that you can do to meal prep. This is actually one thing that I do regularly. This is probably the one thing that has really helped me maintain my healthy lifestyle and create better habits in my world of just what I eat, what do I do in my day. And, having a plan really sustains everything in your world. So having a plan, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. It applies to all areas of your life. But today, we really want to be talking about nutrition and how you can be making a plan right now to have a better quality of life in your future by creating some simple habits today. All right, so let's talk about 5 ways that you can meal plan or meal prep. And there's a difference, but let's just talk about prepping for one. So I know you're super busy. I'm super busy too. When I started this healthier lifestyle myself, I was a full-time school administrator. I am a mom of 2 very active kids. I have a teacher husband, so and he was coaching as well. So always gone, heavily involved in my community, my church. I am a busy person, and I know that you are too. So being more organized and planning out my week of what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to be doing throughout the week, it just helps in so many ways that you don't have to think about things later on, it's just there, and it's something that is already accomplished. It's something that is done for you, and it can help change habits to be more organized and have a healthier lifestyle as you go. So I know you are super busy, and I know that you maybe aren't even thinking about I don't have time to do that, but I'm going to show you today, give you some simple things that you can do in order to give you a couple secrets in order for you to not only save yourself some calories and some, strife in the middle of the week, but that you can, save yourself some calories and feel good about just taking a little bit of time here will save you so much down the road. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, make your priority meals a thing. Okay, so when I'm planning out my meals for the week, I try to start with dinners, because dinners typically, and I'm talking about the evening meal here, dinner, supper, it's an interchangeable word, but I always try to start with the evening meal because that's the one that's going to impact the most people in my house. So when we're together, we try to sit down and have a family meal at that time. And so trying to find things that my kids are going to enjoy, things that my husband's going to like to eat, but it's also healthy. So starting with that meal and planning my dinners out as we go. I also look at my schedule for the week. So on Wednesdays, We don't usually plan a huge meal that day because it's usually a leftover Wednesdays because my husband's gone to pickleball, my daughter has dance, and there's just a lot of stuff that's going on those nights. And to have a sit-down family meal, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes we just see each other in passing with all the activities going on. However, knowing that we still have food available in our house if we needed it, or if we have something going on that night, it's something that we know we're good to go. So look at your schedule and plan out your dinners accordingly. Then the next thing I move to is my personal breakfast and what we're having for breakfast as a whole family as well. So figuring out those 2 meals, and then lunch for myself, and because they're gone at school and I'm home by myself. So what I'm going to be eating for lunch, I can plan those things, and then my snacks in between, and then just having other healthy items in the house for my family to grab, like after school snacks and like those kinds of things. So when you think about, you structure your plan in that kind of sequence, it definitely helps you know what you're going to be doing for the week, and helps you get a grasp on everything that's happening in your schedule, as well as what's going to be planned out for your food for that week. So make your meals a priority and coming up with what it is that you're going to be eating when and where. You can also start to think about reusing things. So like when you can plan out, like kind of double dip some things. So if we're gonna grill chicken on a Monday and have that chicken for that dinner that night, for supper. If there's leftovers, or if I make a little bit extra, if I throw a couple extra chicken breasts on there for my husband to grill, then I can use that meat in salads throughout the week for my lunches, or we could use it in a casserole later in the week if I just cut it up and use it differently. So by cooking in batches, this is my step 2, or tip 2 for you, is for you to prep ahead. So if you have, make more in your meal, and then use those leftovers in other things throughout the week. The second thing I have for you is prep up. So when you get your food from the grocery store, chop it up, chop up all the things, wash up all the things, make sure that you are keeping things that aren't just going to get purchased and put in your fridge. So when we bring cucumbers home, we peel them, we slice them, we put them in portion baggies. When we get the strawberries home, we wash them up, we put them in a container in the fridge. When we get grapes home, we wash that, we peel, or we take them off the stems, put them in, wash them up, and put them in a container. 9 times out of 10, if you don't prepare the things that you bring home, they're never going to get eaten. They're going to go bad in the fridge. But if you take the time to 10 minutes when you bring your produce home, that you wash it up, you get it ready, and you put it in something where it's a grab and go kind of situation, people are much more likely to eat them, right? So that's one reason why we take the baby carrots. Sometimes we'll get the big bag of carrots, or the whole ones, and slice them. But then when we get them home, we peel them and slice them so that they get eaten in our house. The next thing is, get into the freezer cooking. So another option that we have that we usually do, like on a Sunday, is where we then cook up all of the food that we're going to be needing, or we prep up all of the food that we're going to need for the week. So like Friday and Saturday is when I make that plan that I talked about earlier. And then Sunday after church, that afternoon is usually open. And so then I just prep up all the food that we need to get done. So sometimes that means that we are preparing regular meals, and then we put them in the freezer. So you can do this with, like, all the ingredients can go into big Ziploc bags where you just put all the stuff in there, and then you put them in the freezer. And then when you need them, you can pull them out, let them thaw, and let them cook in like a crock pot, or you just have all the ingredients together and you can cook them in some sort of way in the oven. The other things to do are to just make up like regular things that you know that you're going to eat a lot. So my husband makes these amazing meatballs, and we will oftentimes make up a batch of meatballs and just put them in the freezer. And so when it's actually time to eat them, we can just pull them out, throw them in the oven, and then they make great meals throughout the whole week as well. So when you can dedicate like an hour's time to baking up all that chicken, or baking up all those veggies, or just prepping everything up and having them on hand ready to rock and roll whenever it's time for you to eat those meals, it saves you so much more time in the long run, because you're not having to, at the time of the meal, take an hour to prep it and cook it. You save so much time on dishes as well, because you do dishes one day and you have so much more opportunity for you to have less dishes throughout the week. The next one is to, like I said, repurpose those leftovers. So what you're using for meals here can be leftovers the next day. My husband is not a huge leftovers man, but I tell you, he has gotten really good at making sure that when he's eating for dinner, like we're making a large meal, that's what he takes to school with him for lunches throughout the rest of the week. So we're not having tons of leftovers through things, but we can use different meats and different veggies in mason jar salads. We can use them in soups. We can use them in all kinds of things. So get creative and double dip like on those kinds of things. The next one I have for you is batch prep. So just kind of like I talked about before, when you're batch prepping things, you are cooking up things in multitude. And what I tend to do is I'll eat the same thing all week. So I get my meal prep containers, I put my protein, I put my veggies, and I put my carb in there, and I have those things throughout the week. Or whatever I'm eating, I have them in containers where they're just grab and go, or they're in little baggies where I can reuse those baggies as well. But there are things that I can just grab and have available all the time. And the last one I have for you this morning is that you can when you have your plan and you're ready to go with it, that you involve the family in that plan as well. So it could just be mom that sits down and schedules all this stuff out. But when you have your kids involved in what it is that they want to be eating, taking them to the grocery store with you, walking the last tip I have for you too is to get the flyer for the grocery store as one of the things that you use when you're meal planning. So if you're trying to save money on eating well and eating fresh foods, then pull out the flyer for your local grocery store and look at what's on sale. So if you are wanting to, if there's chicken that's on sale, great. Grab chicken and that can be part of your week. If shrimp is on sale, great, grab that. That can be part of your week. Or if you know that certain vegetables or certain fruits are going to be on sale that week, that's what you put into your meal plan. Not only are you going to save money there, but you're also going to have some variety because not the same things are always on sale each week as you go through things. Always be thinking about balanced meals. You do need carbs. You do need vegetables. You do need fruits. You do need all of those things. And just be thinking about good portion sizes and what you're going to be doing throughout the week that's going to help you work through life in a good way. So I hope that you really enjoy these tips today. I hope that you apply them. And if you do something that's fun with meal prepping, or you've got some tips too, I would love for you to drop them below this video or comment. Shoot me an email at choosetoriseup@gmail.com. You can also head to choosetoriseup.com on the website and connect with me there. I love connecting with my followers. I love connecting with the people that are faithful listeners and just have maybe stumbled across Choose to Rise and they appreciate what we're doing here. So you can head to choosetoriseup.com. You can find old episodes of Choose to Rise there on the podcast tab. And you can also go to iTunes and Podbean and leave a rating review. That helps more people find us and is just a great thing for us to be able to share the love of what we're doing here. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you have a blessed day.